Oh, it comes thundering off the post, down to Sheridan, and he was very unlucky because it bounced off him and onto Scott Brady, and Brady managed to clear it away. Out it comes to Ross Brady, his brother. Can they make some progress now in the remaining minutes? 4 minutes to go. John Reynolds still awfully battling, still they come looking for scores. Can they get anything here? Anton Sullivan, well, that's not half bad. He's got his first point in the championship. The middle of the park, they've got Nigel Crawford, who's been superb. Mercurial down towards Sheridan, and he can put it in the back of the net this time, Joe Sheridan. It's come in the 68th minute. There was a goal in this game for Meath, and Big Joe's got it for them. And it simply sums up the afternoon and the big difference between the teams ultimately. Joe Sheridan, denied a few seconds earlier, this time beat fullback and goalkeeper, put it in the back, and it's 120 to 2 goals and 7. Scott Brady taking it down. It's Farrell. Oh, stop by the goalkeeper, Alan Mulhall, is not going to be beaten for the second time.
Joe Sheridan tried to peel away to get the hand pass from Farrell, but the angle was too tight. Farrell did the right thing. Good save.
Full credit to the goalkeeper, Alan Mulhall. And the referee blows the final whistle, and it's a very convincing win for Meath in the end. And the final score is Meath 1 goal and 20 points, Offaly 2 goals and 7.
It was always going to be very tough, and for us against Meath, like, we were well underdogs, but we were right in that game until that man was sent off. We believed in ourselves at half time. We came out, we knew they were bigger and stronger, they'd kick good points, which they did, but we went to attack the game, and we felt we would have got more goals and more scores if that man hadn't been sent off.
The man sent off probably swung it our way a bit, and we tagged on a couple of crucial scores towards the end and were able to pull away, but you know, it was still a tough battle. Probably the scoreline didn't reflect how tough it was out there. Very hot in that, but you know, we're delighted to get out there with a win.
Kevin McStay, tell us about the game. You were down there.
Well, it was a very enjoyable game of football.
Was it not a bit one-sided towards the end?
Yeah, towards the end, after a little bit after the sending off, but the Offaly goals brought them right back into it, and as the conditions were excellent and the ball was flying around a fair degree. And Meath really put in a very fine performance, I thought, in an overall sense, taking the game as a whole. I actually think they are consolidating their position in this tier 2 that we might, you know, Oisín was talking about 3 teams that win the All-Ireland. Well, then there's the Galways, Armaghs, Mayos, Monaghan's, Dublin's, which will be delightful news for me that we're considering them in the same tier as them. I think they are genuine. I mean, when they tidy up their defence, but the defence wasn't hectic today, obviously, but they've a big midfield, a very decent goalkeeper as well, and a forward line that knows how to move, knows how to score, and you know, they're going to be a big problem for anybody in that tier 2, in that second tier, as we'll call it. So they're very deserving winners today. Fizzled out a little bit towards the end, all right, when Offaly ran out of steam.
One stark element in the match there was the contrast in the free-taking in the 2 teams.
Yeah, it was huge today. I think Niall Darby really did have an off day, and Cian Ward very much had an on day. And I suppose, you know, the value of a free taker to any team isn't just points on the board and scores being registered. It's almost psychological at certain points of the game. I know Niall Darby, you know, he was hooking all his kicks, even from a very early stage, even one that scraped over the bar. You know, you really, you know, would be advising him to kick it to the far over post at least, and give himself some chance of swinging it in. But this was the typical of the type of kick.
Almost.
Yeah, it was a kick with no real confidence. And here's a free taker on top of his game, pulling out a different club with the outside of the right boot, just straight over the bar. And he was doing it with the instep all day. He was doing it off the hands all day. This is an absolute bomb from out near the sideline. As they say, it's just the psychological value of having a good free taker. You know, these frees are hard earned, and your teammates expect you to knock them over the bar, and it's just disappointing when you don't. And Cian Ward certainly delivered for me.
In fairness to Niall Darby, he has to be.
Yeah, he just lost his confidence.
And actually, the hardest free he had today, he nailed it over the bar. It was a very difficult free. It's just a bit of consistency required, really.
But it's about the simple ones, really. Isn't that the most important?
That's what you want from your free takers. Get the bread and butter ones, and you know, the difficult ones will come. But you know, it's just a day to be written off by Niall Darby today from free taking.
Niall McNamee has kicked frees.
Yeah, he was carrying an injury, a long-term injury. So I'd say that's possibly why they didn't risk him. But yeah, he has taken them in the past. He might have changed it a bit earlier, all right.
Oisín, you started kicking frees off the ground, and then you switched to kicking from your hands. Explain why.
Well, I had a little bit of a back injury and just decided that it doesn't take as much out of you to kick the ball out of your hands, and I suppose it's a skill really that come to me later on in my career, and I suppose it's something you have to work on. Well, I know, like myself and Dara were chatting about the fact that even when you watch Niall's run up, you know, it varied.
Yeah.
You know, every kick he took, it varied. Whereas, you know, we used to go through the same routine all the time. So a lot of that can be down to nerves. I mean, we've all had off days, you know, when it comes to kicking free kicks. So, you know, I just put that down to an off day today. And hopefully I'd like to see him kicking free kicks the next day as well, because that's the only way he'd get the confidence back.
But I'm interested though, is it almost like repetitive strain injury that you just, by kicking free so
That's
often?
exactly what it is. And one side of your back sort of gives way, and you know, it's probably not doing as much work in the gym early on in the career.
Core stability not being what it should be.
As we should have. Myself and Dara probably never heard about core stability till we were about 30 or so.
Too late.
Dara still hasn't heard about it. The Offaly kickouts, they won what, 12 out of 28 they won.
Yeah,
is that high enough?
It isn't. Meath didn't exactly cover themselves in glory from kickouts either, but Aidan Mulhall must have been tearing his hair out today, because you had Nigel Crawford and Mark Ward in the field catching kickouts. So he's going to have to revert to putting it out towards the wing to maybe give a wing back a chance. And when he does, it goes out over the sideline, and he had one or two of these today. I just think, and especially you know, when John Coughlin was sent off, Meath, you know, just totally took over at midfield. But here, Mark Ward or Nigel Crawford is catching at his ease. And when you put yourself in a goalie's position, he's looking out the field and he's looking for options, and he's trying to make it as easy as possible for his teammates to win it. But unfortunately, they're very demoralising, those kickouts over the line. And again,
it's very important nowadays, and this is with the new rule from the 13, all wides now being kicked out from 13 metres. You have 8.5 extra metres that you wouldn't have had before. So you can see now the responsibility on the goalkeeper to make sure he gets his kickouts right. You know, it's like the back pass to a degree in soccer. That he has to, you know, he should have distance, you know, that's a given. But now his accuracy and, you know, the menu he can offer, the right side, left side, or the middle of the field. Like, Crawford is monstrous, obviously, so he's trying to avoid him, and he just didn't quite get it, you know.
There was only once or twice in the whole game that he tried even a sharp one, just to vary it a small bit, and especially, as you say, with the 13 metre. It doesn't lend itself to variety because it's all from the same spot, but at the same time, he should have been just dinking a few out, just to keep Meath guessing.
But if you're under pressure and they're swarming at you, you're probably reluctant to have the swarm coming back at you again.
If it isn't working, you need to change something,
Sure,
obviously.
yeah.
But unfortunately, again, for them,
And physically, I suppose, Meath are a little bit more imposing. You know what I mean? The height they have around the middle of the field, they're all 6 foot plus. You know, so
it's a big factor.
To try and pick out somebody from a kick out is nearly
difficult.
impossible.
Yeah, it's difficult.
The panel this afternoon made the point that Joe and Pat in particular, and Colin agreed, felt that maybe Meath should have been more clinical and had a killer instinct when they had the opportunity.
Dara Ó Cinnéide and myself were discussing this at half time, actually, that this game would have been over. And I can see both points of view. Eamon O'Brien was saying keep the scoreboard ticking. Colin was saying stick one in the bag and finish the game early, and we can all relax and look forward to the next round. But like, are these really goal chances? This is Shane tearing off. It's not really, Dara, is it?
No,
I don't think that's a goal
half
chance.
chance at best.
Yeah.
I know Joe Sheridan is calling for it over at the other end.
Yeah.
It's perfectly understandable. You take a point. I suppose, you know, any forward worth of salt, a bit closer to goal would look for a goal and would look to nail it. But
now this is a goal. I believe this is, even though you're saying it's a back, so maybe he did best. But no, I think he was, you know, very close when he could have stuck that one in the net.
And maybe there was maybe from a Meath point of view, they realised, look, maybe we'll take our points. Maybe, you know, they're acting on instruction from Eamon O'Brien, keep the scoreboard ticking over. But this is a chance. You know, Joe Sheridan, I would say, went for a goal here for himself.
In the bigger matches, you know, when the standard gets higher, the ability to develop that 2-1 and finish it. You're only going to get 2 or 3 of those against, you know, the Kerrys or perhaps Dublins or whoever is going to be in front of you. So you only get one shot at them.
Dara, you're man of the match contenders.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I thought Meath dominated midfield today, and key to that was Nigel Crawford playing as well as he ever was, veteran player. Cian Ward, as we alluded to earlier, fantastic range of free take, and its value to the team today was immense, 8 points. And Shane O'Rourke, you know, he's been out of football for a long time, and he delivered very, very well today. I think he kicked 3 or 4 points in play and was a target throughout and was willing throughout. So, you know, there was good options on the Meath side.
OK, and who gets it then, Kevin?
Well, Jose Mourinho said at the weekend, every team has to have a specialist free taker, and we went for Cian Ward because he was pretty special today, I have to say. From distance, from close in, from the ground, off the hands, you name it, he provided today. He scored 8 points, 7 from frees. I can't say any more about it. It was terrific.
All right, that's the second week in a row you've mentioned Jose Mourinho. I don't know what the influence is there, but it's a fair return. And as we mentioned earlier, it's all about free taking and keeping in there. All right then, so well.